So, hello everyone. I think you can hear me.
Hello.
Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today is the last session of our Green Week. It's been 5 days of intense webinars, national ones, international ones, workshops, way of developing and show you the DEED project. So today we have the Green Competence and Competence Educational in Vocational Schools. It will be the roundtable of green competences. This is the last session of our Green Week. So I welcome you all today to the roundtable discussion on the green competences. My name is Patricia. We will discuss in this roundtable, be a short one, around more or less 45 minutes, and we will discuss about green competences in education, more focusedly on vocational schools. This is the final event, as I told you, and we are excited to reflect our journey about the DEED project in the VET educational field. As you all know, throughout this project, and you were able to watch, if not, we'll give you briefly the link to our YouTube channel also after the Green Week. We develop a range of resources like the Green Skills for Life training program. We have 2,200 actually micro lessons, a micro certification platform to track students' progress, also a teacher's guide, as you may know, for practical implementation, and also at the end, an extensive digital hub for free access across Europe. You don't have to pay anything, it's free, and it's customizable if you can access this green week to all the week that we've been developed the webinars. As I mentioned, my name is Patricia. I'm from the Portuguese partners Atlantica, and today we will explore the key question, I can say like this: how to teach green competences at vocational schools. So today I have with me some speakers. I have Lucy Bratskova. She is our project coordinator from ProEduca. I
Hello.
also have Pipa. Hello, Lucy. I also have Pipa Thompson. She also is part of ProEduca, is our project partner coordinator. Hello, Pipa. Also, Ingrid from LearnBar, our German partner on this project. Dana from Asia from Romania. Uh, with Denmark, we have Joanna. She's also here for to present and discuss these green competences with us. And at the end, Milena from our Italian partner, Archivo della Memoria. And we have all are here, and I'll be the moderator for today's discussion. But to start with, and as usual, we will share with you our Q&A link, and also if you want to share with us which country are you watching us from and which sector of education do you represent, we'd be grateful to have you here. So let's start because we have really limited time and the topics are so interesting that you want to be part of it. So we know that vocational education requires highly practical teaching. That's true. Micro lessons are designed to fit seamlessly into that model. But how exactly do they help build green competencies in vet? Hmm. I think Ingrid, are you here to answer
Yes,
something?
yes,
Ingrid.
I am. So actually, you're right. Our micro lessons are designed to seamlessly integrate sustainability into vocational training and education, and in such a way that it's not overwhelming the existing curriculum. And instead of a full course on sustainability, teachers can use our short, focused lessons that fit into their subjects. And no matter which subject, it can be hospitality, it can be construction, it can be automotive repair, whatever.
Great, Ingrid. That's a great start. And so, from my understanding, so rather than adding new content, we embed sustainability in what is already being taught. That's it, what you are mentioning?
Yes, exactly. So, for example, for a hospitality course, we have a micro lesson on reducing food waste. And for construction, we cover sustainability in building materials. These are all brief, meaningful lessons that encourage green thinking in daily activities. So it's not just for the moment, it's what hopefully students adapt to their daily lives.
That's great. That's awesome. But may I ask, how do we ensure that students really engage with such short lessons because they are short and have to be dynamic, right? And what's the secret?
Yeah, actually, that's where the interactive format comes in. Each of our micro lessons includes a mix of real world examples, problem solving tasks, and digital quizzes. Uh, Students don't just read and listen. So we hope they can see the immediate value and impact of what they are learning. And plus, the lessons are short enough to fit into practical sessions, which makes them highly adaptable.
Thank you, Ingrid. That's a great start. In case you have questions, I will just to not pass. Just I will open the Q&A in our links. We have people from Albania, from Romania. We'll stop here and I'll open the Q&A because it's closed. I will open it. And now I think it's a great start we already have. Thank you, Ingrid, for the participation. And that's bring to our next topic, embedding green competences effectively into different vocational courses. So how do you think about, let's explore a little bit more about this topic, because sustainability means different things in different fields, or could be the simple definition of it. What are some of the most critical green skills that vet students should develop? I'm interested to know more about it. I don't know if I have my colleague Dana around, that she's an expert on this topic.
I'm not sure Dana is here still because I believe she was stuck with her commitments. So maybe I could try to answer this
Yes, you can try.
for her.
Yes.
Also, I'm very sorry that she's not here because I think she would be the best one because she represents the vocational educator as well as the counselor for the career mm, choices of the vocational students. So I believe she would be the best one. So maybe if she jumps in later on, she can help us answer these questions. Anyway,
Sure.
from the employer's perspective, I believe there are three things that truly matter. And that is the resource efficiency. Uh, People or students simply need to know enough about resources, how to use, reuse, and them in today's society, in today's world. Then there is a topic of circular economy awareness, simply that things shouldn't be just made, used, and disposed, but that there are certain specific ways to reuse everything. I'm speaking about reusing in general terms, but there are many different kinds of reusing. It could be recycling, it could be repurposing, it could be refurbishing, and plenty of words with this re-preposition, but they mean that all resources don't have to end up on the landfill. They can be used in some of these ways and help to simply reduce the waste we produce. And then there is energy management. And these three things are, from the employer's perspective, probably the most critical green competencies that vocational students need to know about, and they need to know how to embed this information into their profession that they are studying. So whether you are in welding or fashion design, whatever profession you are studying, students need to understand how to reduce waste, how to use materials smartly, how to optimize energy consumption in their industries. Simply, it is a necessity, very modern necessity, and we call it like green skill for green jobs, because green jobs are going to create a significant proportion of the job vacancies on the labor market. And I believe our obligation as vocational educators is to develop these skills in our kids, in our children, our students at vocational level, simply to fit to these green jobs. They are becoming more and more popular.
Thank you, Lucy, for jumping in. And since you are ready to participate more on this topic, I see the value in that. And one of the barriers that we discussed all over the week was that how can we convince schools to integrate the screen competences? Because it's not their main focus of technical training, or how can we actually make it happen? Because it is a barrier worldwide. It is a barrier in Europe, is a barrier in Portugal. All our partners have that feeling that it's a barrier to convince the teachers, to convince the school directors, the counselors. And can you give us an advice or your perspective and how can we achieve it?
Mm, yeah, I might try. This is quite a, you must understand that this is really a question that really depends on the specific school director, specific school, and specific school collective of the school teachers, of the vocational teachers. Simply at this stage, I would say, unless it is introduced as a national, let's say, regulation on the educational level, that each school and each teacher has a curriculum about the green competencies already given, it will to the big extent always depend on the specific teacher, particular teacher who has this free will to embed these lessons into his lessons or training programs that he leads. So back to your questions, I think the most critical factor or element in this is the individual teacher. And we have this experience from the entire week when we led our national sessions. And it came up in our discussions and conversation. It is the teachers who, from one side, have obligation to embed green education in their lesson. And then from the other side, they feel that they do not have enough support, they do not have enough tools or materials or instructions how to do that. So it very much depends on the individual skills of the individual teachers, how they grasp this problem, this task, and how they do that. And this is exactly why we came together and we developed these set of tools that we have been presenting the entire week, because we wanted to fill this gap and to help these teachers that need to do that, but they do not have support how to do that. So here we come. We have this big pile of instructions, materials, lessons, lesson plans, guidance materials, and whatever. And we simply came to them as one of the only possible sources of support that are currently available to them. And we would really like to be those that help them overcome these first obstacles and help them start teaching green competencies, green stuff, green lessons in their training program, in their lessons.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for this really composed and structural answer. And now, I will pick on something that you mentioned is obstacles. And we know that implementing these skills, it's not easy. They are not easy because it wasn't made without challenges. We know all of us that are part of the project. We have challenges in developing the content, how to fit, and the question here now, I think it's important for us to share a little bit about what we have learned about from developing this deed project. What was the main topics that we learned, the main obstacle that we had, and how to overcome them? Because each obstacle is a way of learning, and each learning is a way of processing the next obstacle again and again. So I know that developing this AU wide micro learning platform wasn't easy, but I'm here to hear a little bit of what were the biggest successes and also the roadblocks we faced. So I will come back
Да.
maybe to Ingrid. Are you ready to share what were your best and biggest successes and also the roadblocks we faced?
Yeah. Actually, so the finalization of the project was the biggest success, I would say. So actually, it was
And obstacle
quite
as well.
there were obstacles, yes, but the success was In the end, it's such a nice result, what I think at least, and I think you will do too. But one of our biggest success is, I think, that the material can be used flexibly, which means we have decided, at one point, we decided to have all the materials like downloadable and editable, which means go to the website and you will find every of our micro lesson and you can download it, you can change it according to your needs, which I think is quite nice, because if you can speak English and you and all the but your language, your national language is not included, you can just go and change it to your needs, and you can adapt the colors and whatever, and you can even adapt the language, not the language, but you can say, okay, this is not suitable for my students. I will change the sentences. And the other form is the individual training learning platform, the Green Skills for Life training platform. This is a training platform where all the students can go and learn individually and all earn and collect their badges. And I think this is quite great. And this is a real big success. But we also had some roadblocks, which was, for example, the language of Jews. We even had one workshop in a meeting where we all were given several expressions like the tea is hot or whatever. These were language the Jews speak, and we were asked to find out what it means. So actually, I think this was quite funny exercise, but also very informative and very helpful for us to strike the right tone for the young people. So
if I may, I would jump in to talk a little bit also about the obstacles. One of the this is what I mentioned when Ingrid started her last words, because one of the biggest obstacles truly have been that this final stage of the project work and the finalization of all the outputs, because we are very well aware that these are learning materials for students, and as such, they really need to be of the highest possible quality. They need to contain very true and very proper information delivered to the students in the language they understand, yet the language needs to be, professional, formal. And I think to find the equilibrium of all this, to be entertaining, to be engaging, while still be educating, and also keeping, the standards of the education, was the biggest challenge. Of course, in learning materials, there can't be any typo, there can't be any misinterpretation of anything. These lessons simply need to be perfect. So one of the biggest obstacles was the adaptation to these high standards that are really necessary to be delivered when we want to teach students at this level. It cannot be random and it cannot be unprofessional. So this was, at least from my point of view, this was the biggest challenge, to make the lessons the highest possible quality and to remove every single thing that might appear to be like lower quality or not an appropriate output.
Thank you so much, Ingrid, and also Lucy, for this amazing feedback. And I will start with something that Ingrid mentioned. That is, we made those outputs customized, and they can change what they want. They can modify it to their own language. They can add content on it. But to set training materials in place, we also need to ensure that they are
I'm not sure if it's just me who got lost or is it Patricia?
No. Patricia.
Is Patricia okay? We think that Patricia has lost her connection, so let me just jump in. I can continue. I believe Patricia wanted to continue with some words about how exactly the this platform and the lessons are being delivered to the students, because all of the participants that were present at our workshops, they understood that all of these things are being delivered on two different platforms, let's say. One is just the web page where all the resources are being downloaded or can be downloaded and also can be accessed in their editable forms. But another thing is the learning platform itself. And this learning platform was is very interesting thing. And that brings a very new type of educational style to vocational education and training. And that's a sort of gamified platform where vocational students can actually go through educational stuff, yet they can stay entertained and like the teaching, the learning itself. And I believe the best person who could tell us something about this would be Joanna from Polish partner Danmar, because exactly these partners developed this learning platform. So I would maybe like to ask precisely, how does the micro-certification platform improve students' learning?
Yes, so I will answer in two ways. So first of all, this platform, it offers small chunks of knowledge that you can go through at your own pace. And the micro learning that we present with the platform, we estimate that it will take you about 3 minutes of time to go through a lesson, but that's not all, because after a lesson, we also offer gamification elements. And now, what does this mean? You have to complete a quiz after a lesson in order to get a badge. So a very micro, small certificate. Let's say it this way. So you can challenge yourself to see if you have understood the micro lesson, which is either in the form of an infographic or a video. And if you score correctly 70%, so 3 out of 4 questions, you will get a micro certification, a small badge. But that's not all, because there are 3 levels of badges, actually, if I can shortly just to tell you. So we have a small lesson badge, then we have a unit badge, and also a module badge. And if you successfully collect all the badges, you can get a certificate, a Green Future platform certification. And what's interesting, you can then also use this micro certificate that you have obtained through the Green Future platform with your employers. So it can be, in other words, for students, this is an advantage because they can show the micro certificate to their potential employers, which really gives them great value.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. That's a great point. I think recognizing achievements is crucial, definitely. But technology alone doesn't ensure engagement. Teacher motivation plays also a key role. And let's discuss that, because this is also an interesting thing to consider. We've talked a lot about students, but how do we encourage teachers to integrate green competence into their lessons? This is something I'm not sure if any of partners could answer this. I can see Patricia has come back after her short break, but Patricia, we managed to continue even without you. And
Yes,
we,
I
it's
truly
okay.
apologize. because my internet connection just flew reboot, and I'm really sorry.
Never mind,
But
never mind. We continued. I took over, and we came through Joanna's contribution about the platform, and now we are thinking about how to encourage teachers to do this, because they during our Green Week, we tried to spread the news as much as possible. We tried to deliver this information to the maximum possible teachers, vocational teachers across Europe, and we truly had a massive participation at all our events. But now we need to keep thinking about how to encourage teachers to keep doing this, how to integrate green competence into their lessons, and how simply keep supporting them, because they will certainly need some sort of support. So this is my question to partners. If anyone would like to answer this.
I can give it a go. I think one of the points that we haven't mentioned so much is the teacher's guide that's been created. So this is a massive guide for teachers that's broken down into both theoretical and, most importantly, practical things. So the guide, which was developed by Dana, who is the expert on this topic, starts off with the theory relating to green competences and why and how they should be taught. But when it comes to making it easier for teachers, we've designed the guide to be very practical. So throughout the guide, we have references to specific micro lessons and how they might be used in different classroom contexts, along with links to directly to these micro lessons. So if I'm a teacher going through this guide, I see the lesson, I can click the link and I'm directly at the lesson. So I think it's sort of breaking down this barrier, I guess, of having to look for all this material and find a specific lesson.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we try to make it really, really barrier-free, obstacle-free for teachers. And there's also case studies in the guide as well of different ways that people have implemented this green competence microlearning in lessons. Another thing that I can mention as well is the templates, the customizable templates for all the micro lessons. So it's been mentioned before that we have provided these so that teachers can edit them to their specific needs. Again, you're not stuck with a resource that sort of works for you but sort of doesn't. You can tailor it directly to your students.
Yeah.
And to complement that, we also have a YouTube channel from the project in which we've created some tutorials for teachers on how to use certain online tools to create micro lessons. I can send the link in the chat, but it goes through Canva, which is the main thing that we use in our micro lesson creation, and a few other digital tools as well. So not only do you receive the lessons, also some guidance on how to create your own. So that's from my
Excellent.
perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we still have Patricia here?
yes, I'm still here. Sorry, I really
Okay.
apologize. My lights went out, so I really apologize, but I'm back to the game. So, thank you, Pipa, for sharing that with us. Now, that's really what you mentioned is a strong incentive. And I want to ask our Italian partner, Milena, if you are around, are there any strategies that we can say for sure that have worked in engaging students, because you have experience with that, your micro lessons and all of the other micro lessons from the departments, we want to engage with the students. So there are any strategies that you are able to share with us? We promise to keep this a secret.
Yes. Well, Pippa said case studies are always engaging also for students, not only for teachers, but also for students, because it's okay, the general information, but students are more involved when they can see and can work with local projects, like in, I don't know, energy audit in their school, or waste management in their town, communities, or school as well. And in fact, in our lesson plans, there are a lot of activity like this so the students can see the connection between what they are learning and what is happening in their life, today life, school, houses. Another thing that I think it's nice to ask to students, it's replying to relevant content. Something happens. It was me? No, it was me.
No. Patricia,
No.
I
I
think
know.
she's sharing.
Yes,
No.
because if you are taking notes for yourself, we will be able to see it all. So I have to stop it, unfortunately. Just to, yeah, you can proceed. Thank you. You
Yes,
can proceed, Milena.
I was talking about social media things that it's reply to a content that it's always very nice to do with students. For example, there is a case study about something interesting in Denmark, and maybe they can reply with another content about their city. Okay, this is what's happened in Denmark, but this is what's happening here in Rome. That is can be positive or negative as well, but it's always funny. That's it, I think. I don't know if anyone else has an idea about this.
Yes, I agree. To the big extent, this engaging students in this will depend again on the teacher himself or herself, and also about the level of his ability to engage students and make them feel responsible, or develop the participation, the sense of their duty to contribute to the society. This is something that I probably am not using the correct word. I think there is an English word, and the word is Pippa, help me. This is how to engage students to be more interested in what's happening in society. There
Active
is a special
citizenship.
citizenship as well, but there is one more word, but I just cannot remember now in English. Never mind. Simply, but you probably understand me. This is about the ability of teacher to make students feel responsibility for this. So it is not only to learn about the biodiversity, but also to learn about how what I do impact the biodiversity, and make students question their everyday behavior. Simply, if I go to do some shopping, do I decide right if I buy this or that product? How big impact this product makes? Wouldn't this product be better because it makes different impact? And students obviously need to learn all this. This is not an easy thing, and many times they just behave in one way because they were used to do something. It doesn't mean they are intentionally choosing wrong behavior, for example. It is because they just were not told that there are different options, another options to choose from. So our main role as educators is simply to show them the options to choose from, and tell them why these and those options are good or bad, or why is it so, and explain them exactly the reasons. Because many times people can even do things they didn't consider before, or they didn't like, or that are more difficult than the way that they used to do, but they need to understand the reasons. Once you understand the reason why you need to do that, and you make it your personal thing, then it is much easier for you to follow and behave that way. So we need to give all our students a selection of options, and then they can simply start choosing from these options and behave the best possible way they think is.
We have a lot of call to action in our lesson. So practical things, practical choices, that things that
Yes.
they can do every day.
Exactly, and especially in the lesson plans. If I remember, lesson plans is a source of the vast amount of suggestions what to do in their daily life, because we couldn't fit everything into the micro lessons themselves, but the lesson and their behavior after they have learned something in the lesson is something different. And in our lesson plans, there are plenty of suggestions for teacher to recommend to the students or for students themselves to do, that they can simply step by step implement in their daily life and develop their green behavior in them, and change a lot of stuff. And at the vocational level, meaning children from 15 to, I don't know, 18, 19, 20, there is still possible to do a lot of things with them, because they are still, plastic, let's say. We still can form these young people, and they still can learn a lot of things that could form their future behavior.
Great. Thank you so much. And also, to add to that thing, about the how to engage students and how to make a difference, we know that this has led to our, could be our last question, our final question right now. But how do we ensure that this momentum continues beyond the deed project? So we did something for 2 years. That's the truth. That's a fact. But how can we make it happen for more and more years? And how can we make sure that our teachers that are listening to us today, and others that will share the story, the others will share the materials among them, how can we make this green movement, green educational VAT movement, uh, happen over the years? So, any idea? How can we guarantee that? Lucy, are you smiling?
Well, I probably already answered it. The collaboration is the key. We need plenty of partnerships, and not only among institutions like us, those who develop new stuff for schools, but also between schools or among schools. We need to include policymakers. We need to include industries. And the more we integrate all these elements, and more we integrate sustainability into the formal educational policies, the more lasting the impact would be. So I think the collaboration is the key. We have been provided with a lot of incentives from the side of European Union. We have this green skills framework, and it depends on us how we simply grasp this, and how we turn them into the practical stuff, into the practical ways to form our students, form our kids. So I would say the collaboration. We have a lot of plans how to work on this, how to extend our collaboration further. These plans are currently developing, but we will see what will work out in the end.
Thank you. Yes, collaboration is the key. I think that's for sure. And working at the end of the project and knowing that collaboration is what will keep us going with the deed project for many years, even though that the project ends this year. Do you want to share with us what are small amounts of what do you think that could be the next steps that are we aim to take? So anything that you want to share with our participants?
uh, well, yeah. I think it would be very useful if we had our materials translated in more languages, because during this week, I think the most frequent request from the participants to our event was if this would be ever available in other languages than the 8 languages that we're providing now. So that could be an interesting way or direction to continue. But this could be also done individually on a national level by some national, groups of partners who would simply take these materials that we have developed, and they would turn it into their language and then share or spread within their country. It could be done without us even, but this is something that we need to consider. The languages. Then what I think would be very interesting to extend our how to say, to extend the amount of information and the learning sources for teachers themselves, because I believe that green competence is still brand new thing on educational, let's say, educational market in the in the European context, and teachers still do not know exactly what green competencies are, how to embrace this topic, how to how to understand it all, and especially they do not know precisely how green competences reflect in the industry they teach for, I would say, in their vocational school. So how it reflects in the vocation, let's say. So this topic still will require a lot of intensive learning from the side of the teachers to fully understand how this goes together and how to deliver it to the children. It is quite new a topic. So again, this is something what we need to consider in our future projects, and our main aim, at least of this consortium, has always been to deliver support to teachers. So we will continue in this. If this wouldn't be enough, even though our guide is huge and is so comprehensive, that I believe it would provide enough information for majority of the teachers, but still there may be some specific requests from the side of the teachers about how we could help them more to understand or develop some other topics of the green competence. So I would believe that would be focusing on the teachers and keep supporting them with another specific or more specific information about how to work on this would be the way we go.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I think it's a great great insight for as a closing question. But now just to put this on the table, because we have been talking for 42 minutes, I think, more or less, about the practical impact of the green competences, in more specific in vocational schools, vocational education. But what makes it really truly sustainable, it's integrated in our national frameworks and our national authorities, in our EU policies, among the participants, the partners of the project itself. I mean, Spain, Italy, Romania, Czech Republic. So all partners here, we want to implement those things in our own countries. And how can we make it easier, or how can we make it even possible? Because it's hard. We know that it's hard to implement something different, to make it something innovative. But any trick, anything that any of us want to share with us and with our audience, how to do it? It's not easy. It's not easy. In Portugal, I can share with you. In Portugal, is really difficult. It's really difficult because everything is civilized for us since I think 60 years ago. Something doesn't change a lot. But you want to share your perspective on this?
Well, yes, we can ask our visitors to this event, or the participants to this conference. I would like to, before I try to sum it up, because obviously I'm ready to answer this question, but this could be also more about your questions and answers. So I would try to give a little hints, and I would be very happy if our participants could reflect this, what I'm going to say now, because what Patricia asked is a great question, because this is we can do something in small, like we have done here in this little project. We have some little outputs, and we have provided for a couple of schools in the Europe, which is okay. But if we want to make a bigger impact, we really need to try to speak louder and be more visible on the different level than the school level is. And the reality is that to get formal recognition from some national educational authority can be a long and enormously complex process. At least in Czech Republic, what I can say from my personal experience, it takes years, and still it's not. It doesn't mean that it will in the end work out. So, however, it is not impossible. There are some key factors that can help us go through this. So I would like to mention there is some national recognition of microlearning and green competencies. One of the biggest challenges is that the microlearning and microcertification are still new concepts in many national educational systems. So this is something that we first need to spread as an educational approach among schools, among teachers, among policymakers, and have them recognize this as the way to go, because it's modern and it's very well accepted by students. So while universities and some corporate training programs are already embracing it, they are providing short skill-based learning. Vocational educational framework often still follow traditional structures. So it means that national ministries might not immediately recognize a set of 200 micro lessons that we have developed as a part of an official curriculum. That appears to be the first thing to consider. The second is the role of industry and employers. Another way to gain the recognition would be through, the validation by industries. If major employers in green industries acknowledge that these micro-certifications add value to job candidates, meaning that if I come to a company and show the certificate of the Green Skill for Life training program, if it would mean something, and the industries would say yes, this would mean something, then everything would be much easier in this process. So this is another thing to consider. And the third thing is that by using, programs like Erasmus Plus and other EU initiatives, we could do a good push to this initiative. The European Green Deal and the European Green Skill Agenda already emphasize sustainability education. So it's already happening. Many national governments are now aligning their vocational policies with these recommendations. And so presenting our outputs, our, let's say, Green Skills for Life training program as a tool that supports Europe-wide sustainability goals would make it more likely to be adopted. Also, there is this certification and challenge. Many countries still have strict rules about who can issue official certification. In some systems, like national vocational schools or government training bodies, they can issue their own recognized qualifications. This means that our micro certifications that our training program issues may not be like official diplomas unless we work directly with the ministry of our countries. So these are the things we need to overcome if we want to make it Europe-wide recognizable training program. So this is a question now for our guests, for our participants, if there is any comment on this, because I believe this is the most crucial moment now.
Yes, there are comments about it. They already are with some thoughts on the Slido. And for those that didn't, those that missed the link, I will share it again in case you want to share your ideas and thoughts and some everything you want to share with us. Lucy, I can tell you for sure that we have a comment here mentioning that, and I will keep the question about primary education for later, but I will address this topic here about the AU level policies and how to integrate it officially. So we have an anonymous statement that mentions that permission must be obtained from Ministry of Education to be accepted as a model in the curriculum. That's one of the statements that one of the participants shared with us about it, about this topic here. But if you have any more questions or thoughts that you want to share with us on the Slido link, feel free to engage with us, and we will be here to also give you some feedback. I
Yeah,
think
if I may, I would just say that yes, this comment just confirms what already has been what I already said a couple of moments ago, that really in some countries the regulations to get the recognition on the national level is a very complex process, and it takes years to reach the end. And but in many cases it's worth it, because especially with the new topics like green education, it could be a very new and very useful way to simply make our vocational curricula modern. We need to keep adding new and new topics, and those that resonate in the society, like the climate change, like the circular economy, like the green jobs. All this is crucial these years. We are living the last possible years when the shift towards saving the planet is still possible, and the number of years when we can still do this is getting lower and lower. So we need to do whatever it takes to make our children, our future generation, understand the necessity, and to simply make them live it, not only talk about it. So this is our little contribution to this, but I would be very happy if it wouldn't be the one and only initiative of this kind, not only in this consortium, but in general. And it would be very fine if the result of our project could help teachers to deliver these topics to younger generation in the best possible way.
Thank you so much, Lucy, and thank you also for the anonymous statement that we receive. I have a question from an anonymous source also, but it's the first one at the beginning of the session when we were discussing about the vet school integration of the green competences. And the question is which digital methods are most valuable in primary education? Even though that is not our target here, because our target is vet schools, but are we what do we think about the digital methods that are most valuable to use in a primary education?
Do I understand well? Digital methods to be used on the primary education level.
Exactly.
Well, this question is very much depends on how the school is equipped with the technology, because we know children at the primary level do not have mobiles. Not all of them have mobiles. I would say on the secondary and the vocational level, every child has their own mobile, but on the primary, it is still not like a rule. Not all children still have it. And but on the other hand, schools are already equipped pretty well with tablets, school tablets that have access to internet, that still provide all the functions that the mobile phone does. And surely children are already able to navigate in these devices. So I would say it is pretty easy for the school to have such a mobile, a set of 20 tablets, and simply bring them to the classroom. This set of 20 tablets for one class can be shared in the school, because the teacher doesn't need it every day and every every lesson. It can be shared among teachers. So the investment in this is really small. It's not an expensive stuff anymore. Not anymore. It used to be, but it's not anymore. So when children have tablets in front of them, they can very easily go through all the sources that we have been providing in our training. If it is for the smaller kids, if it is for the elementary school children, then I would suggest to have a look at our outputs that we created in another initiative that was called Access, and you can find it on the very same webpage where we are sharing outputs of the of these DEET projects, because we worked also on the outputs for younger kids. So there you can find a lot of resources as well as access to the learning platform where children can also go through a series of lessons, but those are designed for smaller kids. We use language of the primary schools. We use topics that are more suitable for these kids, but still we are providing resources that can be used already on the primary level. And as long as you have access to the tablets for all children, or you have smartboard in your class where you can directly present entire platform or present all the micro lessons that are provided in the digital form on our webpage. I believe we have provided a lot of resources that you can combine as you wish. You can simply use whatever resource you find in a way that you find most suitable for your teaching style, for your class settings, for your school regulations. And there are always ways how to do that. So I would say tablets and the smartboard would be the best way to teach it on the elementary level. But if you decide to give children homework about the green competence or about the circular economy for the primary level children, and you give them homework to find something on their mobiles that they have at home, on the parents' mobile or something, they still can log in to the training platform and go through some level that are designed for little children in our other project. So if not in the school, they still can work on these at home, either on the home computer that they have at home. They certainly do. There are no homes, not anymore, that do not have any computer anymore, or they parents' mobiles, personal devices, or other way. I believe it is very much doable, just with a little bit of will. Do we have any other question, Patricia?
We have some feedback. I think now the first statement was out, and then everyone was jumping in also on the chat and also here. And thank you for those that are questioning about the material for the primary school. Our colleague Joanna shared with us. Thank you, Joanna, for that. The links for the VET schools, this case the DEET project, and also for the access. Thank you, Joanna, for the primary school. So feel free to go there and search. I have some thoughts here on the some ideas that were shared on the Slido. From anonymous source in Macedonia must be obtained from Ministry of Education to be accepted as a model in the curriculum as well.
Yeah.
Um, and we also have some feedback that says we have profiles like environmental technician where there are curricula for sustainable development like climate change, environmental pollution, etc. So this is interesting. I have a profile like environmental technician, something that's not for sure here in Portugal. I don't never heard about it, so a good
Me
way.
neither.
um, Also we have some feedback. We Another person that stated that, but we don't have appropriate textbooks, practicals, or manuals. And a comment here that I'm really happy to hear is that your lessons would be of great use to teachers. Thank you for thank you for saying that to us. And I think from the chat we don't have anything else. Let me see. They were appreciating your participation. Yep, yep, yep. Yes. I think we I don't know, Lucy, if you want to say something more about the DEED project, because you are the coordinator. You want to share with us the experience itself. Oh, you have more feedback. Just whoop, that's a big one.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
can see
can.
it.
Yes, in Croatia economics vet school, we have a subject called sociality responsible business. In the curriculum, we put green projects that 70% of is sustainability. We go through all the 17 goals of
As
the
it is,
social.
yes.
Yes. Also, oops, I missed the comment. Okay. Also, we make um, through
E-twinning.
e-twinning projects involved in climate action projects. I can say almost 5 days we try to make all sustainable. We have eco group like a part of our project. We organize many activities for the environmental day, earth day, and people are adding some comments and I'm missing earth day, and also many other activities from the participant, Professor Nada had.
Mm. Yeah,
I think she
yeah.
was.
I can see this this school or the educational system in Croatia probably supports a lot of initiatives that are based on the school level, what I understand from here, but still there is a big free, how to say, free space for schools to choose how to approach this. And I'm very pleased to see that in Croatia this is possible, and especially about the sustainability goals. I'm not sure here in Czech Republic we have such program that would introduce the goals in a systematic way. We have been trying to do this in our Green Skills for Life program. We are addressing them also in the program that I have already mentioned for the primary schools. We have tried to explain them in the very simple way for the children, but this is something every citizen, every modern European citizen should be aware of course, because they are talking about sustainability from all possible perspectives. So I am very happy to see that in Croatia this is possible and this works, certainly. Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this comment. I think I don't see any other questions here, but in case you have, please feel free to publish on the slide or even on the chat. But in case we don't have it, I think I can say for as a moderator of this panel that this discussion, I'm not it's not to say this as a part of the partners group or the project, but I think it was valuable discussion here. And from the impact we started from the impact of the micro learning strategies and how to implement on the vet schools and how can we keep the teachers and learners engaged. But at the end we make sure that we keep here and we save and share with the partners and the participants some key takeaways from today's conversation. And I want to make sure that so each one of us, the partners, can give some key takeaways. I think for that, I can start if you want. I can just be the
Yes,
first
please.
one if you want. I think the DEED project from Atlantica side made us know that we are part of something big, something not just will stop here after the 2 years, and also the green competences are important for vet schools, are important for the future of the professionals. We are building professionals on the vet schools, and combining all the materials together may be the secret to make sure that this will be a proper and a way of delivering the content itself as an innovative one, and make sure that the students are engaged, are enthusiastic about using these green competences. So I think that's the first key takeaway of our participation and be part of this big project and this big green week that we been working on. But I want to hear more from the partners. I think that I'm not the only one.
I believe everyone can share. So project partners, share with us one key knowledge, key thing you would like to share, not only with us but also with our guests.
I want to share a feedback actually we got from Italian teacher regarding our micro lessons. This is very relevant in Italy, maybe also in your country. These micro lessons are the way they are because they are micro lesson, and also because we also offer templates for all of them. They are perfect for people with disabilities or different kind of learning difficulties or problems. So that's perfect. They really need this kind of lesson that they can modify. So they are super happy. Because in Italy, we have vet school. There is a 1/3 of the students have some kind of disabilities, so they are perfect and they are very, very happy of the results of this project.
Thank you so much, Milena, for sharing that with us. Thank you so much. Ingrid.
And I can say that so we got some feedback, and it was not from a school, but from a company, and they said that it's not only material for schools, but also for apprentices in a company, that they could learn with these materials. Sometimes there are breaks when the apprentices don't have to do too much, and then they could use this material to go over alone individually, and then the trainers or the train can later see how many badges they collected. So it's another kind of learning, not in schools, but in the companies directly.
Yeah.
Yes, could be a way of continuous learning, even for those that are not in vet schools anymore. Great. I don't know if any.
No, it's not like they are not in school. In Germany, we have this dual system. The apprentices go to work for 4 days a week and 1 day to school, but they also can learn during their time at the companies. So that's it.
Great. Thank you for clarifying. Great. I don't know if Joanna, you want to add something?
Yes, so what was also appreciated is that we provide real life examples and applications of the green skills that you can self-reflect on, and then also you can impact behaviors and habits not only of yours, your schools, your communities, but also a wider public. So also we are initiating positive changes in behavior and habits. So we are supporting the development of green skills in a wider perspective.
Thank you so much. I don't know if Pipa, you want to share something with us?
Yeah, I would add just about microlearning in general, because I think that, the whole phenomenon, I guess, of attention spans becoming shorter, can give microlearning a bad reputation. People might argue that it doesn't go into enough depth to really learn about a topic. However, especially in places where you don't have sustainability as a direct part of the curriculum, it's actually the perfect solution, because you can, slip in a 3-minute lesson to complement what you're teaching.
Exactly.
You don't have to take like this whole hour session. So I think in that sense, it's super beneficial from a teacher's perspective, but also with this target group, especially sort of 15 to 18-year-olds. I mean, it's undeniable they enjoy this short form content. So giving them short form content that also educates them is like this great opportunity that's arisen from, what could be seen as a negative with the shorter attention span. So it's like turning that into an opportunity rather than a threat.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that micro lesson is the future and micro certification. Lucy, you are the last one here as a coordinator.
I only have one sentence, one thought that is always on my mind, and it is a vital part of every single thing that we do in our organization and in our projects. And it is that only a well-prepared and continuously educated teacher can truly inspire and guide the younger generation. And this is what we focus on, to make the best teachers, because only those can ensure that the future generation will be better than the previous ones.
Wow. Thank you so much for that last words. I think we don't have any additional questions or queries or from the Slido and also on the chat. So I think we are able to close the session. What do you think? Are we able to make it the Green Week end? Are we
I
ready for
believe,
it?
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
ready for it. It was an amazing week. I think I'm not ready to close it yet, but this is this last session, so it's the closing session. And I will say that I first for this session I thank you all for your contribution as the partners, for those that the participants, the teachers, those that are not teachers but that are involved with the educational field. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and sharing your questions and the way of other things happening on your country. That's important for us also to take and to make sure that the project keeps going, even though that it will stop officially this year, but we wanted to keep, and we'll count on you to share the materials that we are showing today, the thoughts that we are showing, the ideas, with other teachers, other professionals, because that's the way of making sure that the project keeps going and we are fighting for a greener educational project. And also the competences in vocational education are guaranteed as a green future. And let's start here but not stop here. So thank you all. I don't know if you want any of us want to add something more, but thank you all for making sure that this Green Week was a success. We have a lot of participants and we are really, really happy for all of you that participated here.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia, for hosting all these sessions. And thank you, all our viewers today, for being here, for sharing this week with us and supporting us. I can see 1,000 of thank you messages in our chat. We are very thankful for your support, and we are keeping our fingers crossed for the future of green education in Europe.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's close it in three,